Hi, everybody, and welcome to Green Bay Area Public School District's Our GBAPS Story. I'm Vicki Bayer, and I have the honor of serving as the district's Superintendent of Schools and Learning. I'm excited about today's podcast, as once again, we will delve into the district's budget. Now that the state biennial budget is finalized, we'll also hear from one of West High School's students and a member of the football team, and discuss changes that will occur this year and next year to improve the high school experience and academic success. All right, joining me is Angie Roble, the district's Chief Financial Officer. And Angie, last time we met and talked about budget on the podcast, we didn't have a state budget yet, and now we do. So how did that work for us?
Well, Vicki, one word that has been used to describe the state budget that was just passed surrounding public education funding is unprecedented. So a lot of things occurred, one of them being that this is the first time that anyone can remember that the state has not given or provided additional aid to school districts. So that definitely was a little bit surprising to all. Heading into the summer, we had talked a few months ago, but heading into the summer, we knew that we were going to have to go back to the community to renew our operational referendum, which is $16.5 million that'll be falling off after 26-27. The outcome of the state budget definitely wasn't what we had hoped for. So that amount that we will be asking the voters to and the community to support is larger than what we had hoped for, essentially. Regardless of, all of the commitments that we made, the work that we've done, the strong, sound financial, fiscal management, that our team, leadership team has been going through and doing the work, not receiving for 17 years an inflationary index or increase on that per pupil funding.
That's how long it's been?
It's been 17 years since that inflationary index has been taken from that per pupil amount, right? For 17 years of that, on top of the inflation that we are experiencing as consumers in our personal lives and as the district, it's really put us in a very difficult situation.
This is what I like about you explain it, Angie, because you put it in terms that make so much sense. So let's look specific at Green Bay Area Public School District. The governor signed the budget with $325 per pupil for the next 400 years. Yes. What does that mean for us?
So what that means is, yes, all school districts got, the $325 per pupil on the revenue limit. According to, like we just talked about, inflation, right? According to the Legislative Fiscal Bureau, we should have received, with inflation, $404 and $413.
On top of the $325 or just?
That's what we should have. So
that would have been it?
That would have been it for just these 2 years.
Okay.
These 2 years, right? So, and we didn't see that. And then another thing that, that $325 means is it definitely was helpful, but it didn't reach our expectations, right? It didn't give us what we needed. The $325 was also not funded through state aid. So what that means is that $325 will be fully taxes, property taxes. So it's going to fall onto the taxpayers because we didn't get any aid to offset that increase.
So we're talking about local property owners.
Yes.
Okay. Public school advocates, as well as ourselves, really advocated and fought for a change in special education reimbursement. And the goal was 60%. Every year our district takes $35 million from the general fund and transfers it over to special ed to cover those costs. Can you talk about that?
Sure. So 60% was asked for. Progress was made, right? So we are going to receive 42% and 45% in the next 2 years for special education reimbursement. However, the concern that still remains with me and other districts is that the amount of money that's put in there from the state is a set amount. And across the state, special education costs, just like everything else, they're going up. So that means that school districts are taking a bigger piece of the pie.
All the school districts,
which results in less money. So what Green Bay is projecting is we're projecting about 39%. which equates to about $3.1 million. But like you said, in our overall budget, we're still going to continue to have to transfer over $30 million into Fund 27 to support those costs. So for 24-25, so I'm going to back up to last year just to give you an example. In 24-25, the state budget had stated that we would receive 33% reimbursement. What we actually ended up receiving was about 30%. So we were about $850,000 short in 24-25 of what we had anticipated. So that's why we are projecting that we're going to receive less than that 42%.
Yeah, that makes sense. Was there anything that surprised you in the final budget?
Yeah, a couple things. The $325 per pupil, right? That increase that wasn't state aid funded, so that was a surprise. Another thing that kind of came through that was a surprise or kind of low on the radar was the increase in the amount that we're going to be paying for voucher students, independent charter schools, and open enrollment students. So we had anticipated a slight increase, but nothing compared to what actually happened. So for private school voucher kids and for independent charter schools over the next 2 years, their increase of what we will have to pay is $1,068 for the next 2 years. For open enrolled students, that jumped by $2,068 in the next 2 years, keeping in mind that public schools received $650
substantially
increase,
less,
right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think something the public doesn't fully understand is a lot of these students never even went to Green Bay Area Public School District to begin with. They've always been private school students. That one surprised me too, Angie, the amount of money that increased for vouchers. So what's the bottom line for our district? I know you're doing an update to the board in October.
Yes, yep. So we'll be bringing the final budget to be certified and voted on and adopted by the board in October. So really what it means for us as we have addressed the budget deficit, right? We've done the work. We have demonstrated and will continue to demonstrate to the community that we are really good stewards of taxpayer dollars, right? We have or will have closed 6 buildings by the end of 25-26 through school consolidations. We continue to right staff as we decline in enrollment through attrition. We have cut department budgets by over 10% for this upcoming year. We have modified employee benefits. We have cut vendor contracts for software, right? We have done all of these things.
Right.
So we continue to do the work. However, right, we're running out of resources, right? Our resources are slim, and and it's causing us to really look at things and make hard decisions. And this state budget really hasn't helped us, right? Really hasn't helped with those conversations. We have always strategically tried to cut where it would not impact our students in the classroom, and we've been successful. We've done a really good job, but that's getting really hard to do, right? As we go into these next couple of years. The state budget really hasn't helped, right? As we move into the next 2 years.
My hope for you is that before you retire, you're able to share some good news with us. That is my hope.
Me as well. Thank you.
So there's Angie with her not so great news about the upcoming presentation to the board about our budget. So thank you, Angie, as always, for keeping us updated.
You're welcome.
All right, now it's my pleasure to welcome Luke Rissling, a junior at West High School. He's running back, he's linebacker. I don't know if you're doing anything else for the team, but he is a West High Wildcat. So welcome, Luke.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, hey, how did your season go last year?
It was definitely, comparatively to our past, it was a very successful season. Had 3 wins, which was the most, I believe, in over 20 years. So for the past standards, it was definitely excelling far past those. But we're looking to build past that this year, even with the large step up.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. Any predictions? Is it too early?
I definitely think some people think we're just going to be building this year because we lost that strong senior class. But I think we're going to be able to still take another step forward this year just because we're building standards and everything is excelling at West, and we're trying to continue that even with the younger group. We're ready to step up into bigger roles, and I think because of those standards, we're going to have more success.
Yeah, I could feel it just walking through the halls last year that there was a change. Something felt different. And the renovations at the stadium are phenomenal. What was that like playing there last year?
It was a crazy feeling because our first home game last year was our homecoming game, and that's
Yeah.
always a big show. But this year, it truly did feel different. There was a different energy to the stadium, and the fact that we have that brand new turf and we have the pleasure of practicing on it every day, let alone having games there and having fans in the stands, it's just great.
How do your classmates feel about it?
I think there's just a certain energy about the school as a whole, the stadium, everything is just, there's more positive energy around it. There's more excitement for the sporting events, and that goes for everything, especially football.
Yeah, you're right. It has spread out throughout the other athletic teams
For
as
sure.
well. You're in a unique position. You're an incoming junior, but your freshman year was still in the older stadium,
Yep.
and you have a new weight room now too.
Yeah.
What is that like?
That's probably the biggest piece to, I think, what's going to be our success this season. I think in the past with the old weight room and just the old culture as a whole, we really struggled to get people in the weight room. And any successful program is going to be step one of that is being in the weight room. So in years past when we didn't have that, it definitely was reflected on the field, and that's where some of that not so successful games
Yeah.
came from. But this year with that standard like we talked about, we have a group of committed guys every day, and I'm just speaking for football, but
Yeah.
as a whole we had the summer strength conditioning people were there. But for football specific, we have a 6 a.m. football only lift, and this is like something
Oh.
unheard of. We have tons and tons of dudes there every day compared to like past years
wow.
where we've had like 5 dudes in there.
Yeah,
So that's definitely a big step up, and I think that's going to play into our success.
I want to make sure I heard that right. 6 a.m.
Be there at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Every person late, there's a 1-minute wall sit. No one likes that before a workout.
Okay, that would motivate me to get there by 6 a.m. I think, Luke, you know that the fact we even have those renovations is because of the great community support. There's a really strong group of parents and community members in the West neighborhood that fought really hard to get that renovation for you guys. So some of them are actually watching this today. What do you think you and your teammates would say to the community for the support?
Well, I think it goes along with one of the things my coach says. He says that it takes a village to raise a kid, and it takes a whole community to raise a football team. And that goes along with all the athletics at West. Like, the culture around it comes first with the community showing up and supporting us and showing us support through referendums and things like that. And I think we can reflect that with success and eventually just building better humans to put back in the community. So it's a big thank you to everyone that supports West, because eventually those same people are going to be back in our community supporting you.
Wow. That was fabulous what you just said, and I'm so glad we just recorded that. That was really good. Are you going to coach in the future?
Most definitely. That's my long-term goal.
Yeah. So you're in the IB school. Are you
Yep.
taking some IB classes?
Yeah, next year I'll be taking IB psychology, IB math, and probably IB science either. I don't know which one yet, but I'll be in a couple of those classes.
And what's IB? What makes that different?
I think it's just another option, and it's the nice thing about West. They have some AP classes, but the option of IB and the IB program as a whole is a great option and definitely a way to find some success before college and get those core classes down.
Yeah. Thank you for saying that. What's your favorite thing about West High?
Probably just the culture, like embracing being an underdog. For a lot of, like when I came in, it's like everyone is scared about big bad West Appear or something like that. But if you can embrace like being gritty and working hard and really trying to change things instead of just being a part of something, I think I have a lot of pride because of that.
Yeah. It shows both on and off the field. This was Luke Rissling, incoming junior for West High School. I think the Wildcats are going to have another great year.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure to introduce David Johns, Associate Superintendent of Continuous Improvement. Thanks for joining us today, David.
Thank you, Vicki. It's great to be here.
So this is year 3
It
in our
is.
district, and you came from out of state to get here.
I did.
What is your favorite thing about Green Bay Area
I
Public
did.
School District?
You know, I think about that a lot. You said favorite thing. I think I'm not going to put them in any particular order, but I'll share a few things that I really appreciate about being here.
Okay.
You know, more than anything else, there's this community, this amazing community that just wraps its arms around our schools. And there is multi-generational support and love for our schools and families that have had experiences in our buildings, from grandparents to grandchildren. neighbors who really associate where they live with the school that anchors their neighborhood, and that's just fantastic. And of course, we have amazing teachers and educators that are so committed to our kids and show up every day to provide such a wide range of varieties and opportunities for our kids to pursue. I think that's done in the moment for kids to feel like they're learning and doing things right now, but it's also set up with their future in mind, which is really exciting.
Yeah. It didn't take long to realize that you figured us out. And I think everybody sees that you get it, and we appreciate it. We recently had the administrator retreat, and we kicked off the theme to the stars. When you think about some of the changes that we're going to be implementing at the secondary level, can you connect the two to the stars and these changes?
So I think about our theme, and what it brings to mind is the importance of focus, the importance of determination, the importance of working together as teams to maybe pull off some things that might seem out of reach to a lot of people. And my work and what I was brought to the community to do was really lead continuous improvement work. And I don't think our kids can wait for us to slow walk continuous improvement. We have to look at those areas where, again, the focus and the determination needs to be front and center. And so I'm connecting a lot with the theme lately in a lot of the work that I'm doing, but particularly with what's ahead in high school.
Yeah, so we're starting with freshmen. And to your point, the goal is the kids can't wait. So we're going to be implementing some changes that will impact them this fall already.
That's right. Yeah, just
Can you
in
talk
a few
about
weeks.
those?
Sure. It's important to pay attention to what's been working for our students and where maybe our students are still struggling despite our best efforts. And it's become clear that we need a tighter and more supportive environment for our ninth graders as they kick off their high school experience. And that hasn't been for lack of trying a lot of different approaches to do that. When you look at successful models around the country, you find that really committed group of teachers who have that special place in their heart for ninth graders, 14, 15-year-olds. That was me at one point.
Oh, God.
Who really would prefer to spend their day supporting and teaching kids of that age. And so in all of our schools, we've had teachers step up and say, that's me. I want to do that. I want to be the first adult that a high school student spends time with so that I can get them off on this mission or journey or, connecting to our theme. And so for our ninth grade students, they will be in probably a smaller learning community. They won't be necessarily scheduled by random to be on the first floor for this, and then third floor for this, and fourth floor for this. Right. They'll be in a community within their school. It'll still be large. All of our schools are quite large, and so they'll get to meet a lot of new people. They'll get to stay connected with people maybe that they were in middle school with, but probably more than anything else, they'll have that tight, supportive group of adults that gets to know them really well and makes use of some of the new tools that we have in place to learn almost in real time. Where are the struggles and what can we do to respond to keep you on track to graduate?
There's a lot of research to support that this is an effective model.
Yeah, and it begins, again, with that experience of your ninth grade students, and then I can only imagine what 10th grade becomes like for them as they built that confidence that I can be successful in high school.
And that's not far from, actually probably directly linked to the Portrait of a Graduate and helping support those students for that end goal.
Yeah, in order to really become what the portrait identifies, every day can't be a struggle just to pass your classes.
Right.
You've got to really feel like, again, you're building that confidence that I can pass the required classes. And because I was successful the first time in those classes, I can start to make some choices and take advantage of those great options and opportunities that we have here in Green Bay for kids.
Yeah. Any other changes on the horizon for high schoolers?
Yeah, high school itself really, this upcoming year primarily for the ninth graders, but in the years that follow, we'll be really aligning and consolidating around a single schedule. Right now, as you know, our high schools, some of them have different schedules than others, so we'll have a common schedule which will help us introduce some options for courses that might be longer, blocked courses where you go every day and the course is completed in a semester, to others that would spread out across the whole year. And again, the research is behind certain amounts of time for learning in different subjects based on how kids learn. And so we want to really follow that and build a day that's nimble enough to be able to offer both types of courses at the same time. For high school in general, next year really the focus will be on ninth grade, but as we move into the 26-27 school year, we continue to be influenced by research, and one of the significant shifts that will be part of a new schedule for all high schoolers in 26-27 will be moving to a later start time. We're still working on the details of when that would be, but speaking of the research, it's been made quite clear that students of that age are really primed for learning the later you can move into the morning. So that'll definitely be an aspect of that. Other changes ahead for high school, in that schedule, we'll be proposing different lengths of classes, and so certain classes would be offered block to provide more time for deeper learning each day. Other classes would be spread out over time, depending on the nature of the class, and we're working with teacher teams and students and administrators really through almost a 2-year period of input to really fine-tune what that would look like. We're thankful for all the voices that have come together to help shape that.
Students too.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had students who are approaching graduation or who have already graduated who won't actually even live this schedule, but saw it as kind of a legacy project of their own to be able to provide some input on that. So really excited about that. The high school experience, as we learn from and continue to grow through the use of technology in education, high school students throughout our district, being on a pretty similar schedule now from one school to the other, are going to have expanded opportunities to learn through virtual courses. We'll make more of those available to them as well. Summer school will continue to offer options for enrichment, perhaps accelerating your learning and even taking some of these virtual courses at the same time.
Baylink, Bridges,
Tiny
Earth.
All those great programs that really, I think, are the model for how you live up the portrait. Again, we get our ninth graders off on the right foot so that these amazing capstone experiences become achievable for them, and none of the barriers are in place, and so they're able to make those choices and thrive in those programs. Very active work team of teachers, administrators, and others have been involved over the last year and a half, almost 2 years, in really helping shape what that could look like. So I feel really good about what we'll be coming forward with for the 26-27 school year.
Yeah, I think a lot of energy and a lot of people were brought to the table to have these conversations, so we all look forward to what the final product will be.
Yeah, thank you. So do I.
Yeah, love that. We have a lot to look forward to, David. Thank you
sure
so
do.
much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
That wraps up today's podcast. I hope you enjoyed the second installment of Our GBAPS Story. Please watch for future podcasts where we will continue to explore how we're striving to ensure that all GBAPS students soar to the stars. Thank you for spending time with us and learning more about Green Bay Area Public Schools.